Hey guys, it's Sarah Uwe, the founder of Selling Sarah, and today we're going to talk about the 3 things that you actually need to close deals right now. So let's get into it. Sales has gotten so overcomplicated, it's actually insane. I am speaking with teams right now. 90% of my clients have so many tools, so many frameworks, so many secret formulas to sales success. It's honestly overwhelming reps. Sales is not complicated, so let's try to simplify a few things that you could apply into your role ASAP. That way you could start seeing some quick wins and closing deals hopefully tomorrow. Step 1, let's start with your very first call, the cold call. We all know what the cold call is, but let's actually start with this because that's actually the very beginning of any relationship with a potential client. The best thing that you can do in a cold call is get them speaking. And what I mean by that is you should actually only be speaking about 20% of the entire cold call because we want to find out the pain points and the challenges that potential prospect is actually facing. If we could focus on the pain points, they're going to realize that they need us, right? They need that product or service that we're actually trying to sell. But if we do this right, then they are going to feel that need for needing us. If we don't do this right, you're going to get a hang up and chances are you're probably not going to get a hold of them again. I put together a little script for you guys and it's a little bit of a template. Maybe we could put this on the screen. You guys can screenshot this, tailor it to your industry, your product, your service, whatever you need to do, but it's going to sound something like this. Hey Mike, it's Sarah over at Selling Sarah. You are totally going to hate me. This is a cold call. I was wondering if you just had 27 seconds to chat. Okay, great, Sarah, what do you got? Well, before I get into it, Mike, I just want to sanity check something because I'm speaking to a lot of leaders in your industry right now that are struggling with top of funnel pipeline and their new sales reps are actually taking way longer to ramp than usual. By the time they actually hear this, the wheels are going to start turning, right? They're going to be like, wait, my sales reps are taking a really long time to ramp and my seasoned sales reps are not bringing top of funnel pipeline. They're actually really struggling, right? So first and foremost, what I want to point out is I did not pitch, right? I'm just letting Mike know that I'm speaking to a lot of leaders in his industry right now, and I want to sound like I'm empathizing with him, right? Hey, I'm coming off as an industry expert. I actually know a lot about your industry, Mike. So I'm gonna already point out 2 things that I know are probably a problem for him because I'm already speaking with leaders, right? So immediately I'm coming off as an industry expert, which is extremely important. By the time he notices what's going on, that I actually know about his industry and I know about the challenges that he's facing, he's already gonna realize that these problems are costing him deals. And I'm actually gonna call that out, right? So I'm actually gonna tack on to the script now and say, a lot of the leaders I'm speaking to are telling me that these 2 problems are actually costing them deals, right? And no sales leader, no C-suite level executive, no finance leader wants to admit that they're losing cash. They're losing money, they're losing revenue, right? So I'm gonna now wrap up that script with, is this why you actually took my call, or am I totally off from what's actually going on in your business right now? If we put that all together, right, Mike's gonna realize I actually don't even know what she's calling to sell me. This doesn't actually sound like a sales call. It sounds like she actually wants to help solve the problem that I'm having, right? So first and foremost, you need to find the pain, but you already need to know the pain, which means you need to do some research, right? Not a ton to the point where you've wasted 30 minutes of your time and Mike doesn't answer the call, but 2 to 5 minutes is plenty for you to get enough information to pique their interest in the beginning of that call, right? So first and foremost, what we want to say on the first call isn't an actual pitch. We want to throw the challenges at them that we know that they're facing. We want to be an industry expert and we want to show the prospects that. Immediately off the bat, they're going to be like, Sarah knows what she's talking about. I have no idea what she's actually selling, but she clearly knows about my industry. And how does she already know the challenges that I'm facing in 2026, right? That alone is going to show why Mike should meet with me, right? It's going to show the value of him taking a meeting with me because we could help solve these challenges. Again, why this works, right? You're not pitching, you're not qualifying anything, and you are just truly proving that you understand Mike's world, you understand Mike's industry, you understand what's going on in his business in that very moment, right? Boom, trust is built. meeting booked. Second thing I want to talk about is meeting prep. Now, I know we have all been in a sales position before where the account executive is like, Sarah, hey, you booked this meeting for me. Like, where is the meeting prep, right? It is probably the most annoying thing to prepare as a sales rep is meeting prep. And I was that sales rep where my manager was just like, where is the research? And it was just one of those things where I was a little bit, I had that ego that was like, oh, the AE can easily figure out a little bit about this information on this company. Like they can easily just, look them up on LinkedIn or Google and get the information that they need. But let me tell you, being in a full sales cycle position right now, I notice the difference in my performance on a meeting when I don't do meeting prep. There is nothing better than already mentioning the challenges, already mentioning some information that you've researched on their space on the call, because when you do that, again, it shows that you are a knowledge expert in their space. That prospect on the call is gonna be like, wow, Sarah already knows like what's going on in my industry, what's going on in my business right now. She clearly knows what she's talking about. Therefore, I'm gonna actually tune in even more than I was to what she's saying because she knows. She's a knowledge expert, right? So doing your research before the actual meeting, whether you're an SDR and you're doing the research and preparing it in meeting prep for your account executive, or you're an account executive booking your own meetings, do your meeting prep. Just because you booked the meeting and you know a little bit about this company doesn't actually mean that you've dove deep enough to understand the challenges and the pains that they're facing right now in this point in time. Every single meeting that you walk into, you should already know 80% about what's going on in their industry, what's going on in their company, already should know. Like, these are things that you want to be mentioning on calls so that they know that you know what you're freaking talking about. Now, I give you guys a lot of scripts. I give you guys a lot of templates. So here's one that you could use right now in a meeting, something that you can say to show that you know about their industry. It's super simple. It's the one-liner of what I'm seeing right now in your industry is, and then you go off on all the research, and that's where their jaw is going to drop and be like, okay, she actually knows. This is a simple one-liner that you could easily just write down and use on any of your meetings, even today, just to show that you've done your research. And that's truly what they're going to care about. Now, we're talking about the 3 things that are going to make you close deals right now. However, number 3 is actually something that you should stop doing. Like, stop doing this immediately. Stop over-educating buyers that have not earned the right to learn about your product or service yet, okay? If you are feature dumping, if you are throwing crazy technological language on cold calls, on first-time meetings, and you are just feature dumping everything about your business, you are going to lose them, okay? 1, they didn't ask about it. 2, they probably don't understand your internal language. They don't understand all these sizzle words that you guys use internally. When you're trying to be flashy, trust me, it's not coming off flashy to them, even though it might be coming off flashy to you. Just because you're word vomiting really cool things about your company doesn't mean they understand. Actually, it's gonna come off like they're gonna wanna hang up the phone, or they're gonna wanna get off that meeting immediately because they're not understanding any single word that's coming out of your mouth. What you want to focus on is those pains and challenges that you've researched in those companies, right? You want to dig deeper. You actually shouldn't even be explaining or pitching your business sometimes until the second meeting. When someone told me this, when one of my directors told me this years ago, saying sometimes on the discovery meetings, I still don't even get to the pitch, I was like so taken back. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you don't pitch on the first call? And she was like, I am genuinely still digging at the challenges that they're facing so that at the very end, I could wrap up that 45-minute discovery meeting by saying, hey, listen, based on the challenges that you're facing, if I told you that we could solve them by doing X, Y, and Z, would this be of interest to you? After a 45-minute meeting of them dumping their problems on you, and then you hit them with that statement and they're like, hell yeah, I would be interested if you could help me with all of these things, right? Boom. Well, that's why I just want to have a follow-up call on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to invite all of these people from my business that are going to tell you how we're going to support you with this for the next 6 months. And they're like, great, I'm going to bring my people, you bring your people, and then boom, that second meeting is actually where you start to pitch and sell the value of your business, where you can tell them how you're going to solve their problems, okay? So do not jump the gun. You should not be fully feature dumping, fully pitching, even on the cold call, right? That pitch that we talk about on cold call should be a one-liner, right? Obviously, the pitch for your company is going to be a lot longer than a one-liner, right? But what I'm saying is, even on that first discovery meeting, it's called discovery meeting, disco meeting, whatever you call it, for a reason, guys, okay? Because you are trying to discover every single pain point and challenge that they are facing in this point in time, so that the second meeting is where you actually sell the value of how you can help them. I cannot talk about this enough, because truly, when I was told about not pitching until the second meeting after discovery, after the initial cold call, I was shook. Right? But truly, this is gonna also show the prospect that you genuinely care about the problems, the challenges, what they're facing right now, right? You want to build trust on the cold call, on the discovery meeting. Then when they show up to the second meeting, you already know they're interested in whatever you got. They don't even know what you got yet, but they are interested. When they show up to that second meeting, that should be a huge buying signal for you and your team. Hey, they're interested because this is truly a pain right now. I've now spoken to them on the cold call, the discovery meeting. Now they're here for the second call. They're obviously here for a reason. This is a huge buying signal. And then this is where you're gonna close the freaking deal, people. Deal closed, okay? Seriously, when we stop feature dumping, when a company doesn't deserve it yet, when we haven't gained their trust yet, you are going to lose that person immediately. They are hanging up, no questions asked, right? So let's just summarize everything we've talked about in the last 10 minutes here, okay? Because it's a lot. And I tend to throw a lot at you guys at once, which I know, but I just try to fit every piece of information that I can to be as helpful as possible in one video. So let's do a little recap here. If your sales role is feeling way harder than it should right now, let's focus on the three things that we just focused on. So first and foremost, are you naming the problem on the first call, right? Are you already showing the prospect that you understand their industry and the challenges that they're facing in this point in time? Second thing, are you bringing the actual disco to the discovery meeting? And what I mean by that is, are you actually uncovering the challenges? Are you digging deeper? Because if you start to sell and pitch on that first discovery call, you're gonna lose them. And the last thing, don't start pitching until meeting number 2. Try this. This is gonna sound crazy. You're gonna be like, how is that possible? How am I supposed to postpone pitching, right, to the third meeting or the second meeting? Listen, you need to build the value first. You need to dig into their challenges even more. Think of it this way. This is gonna sound very Halloweenish of me, but think about seriously digging into something. A challenge is already bothering someone so much, right? They're really struggling with that challenge. Dig it deeper into them. Show them that this is a real challenge that's costing them money. You're gonna have to really grab them, shake them by the body and say, hey, clearly this is a challenge, right? And you're not doing anything about it. And clearly we understand the challenge that you're facing, but this is exactly why we solve it. This is exactly why we should partner with you. This is exactly why you should buy from us, because we can actually save you money. We can make you money, right? Hello, at the end of the day, that's why people sell, because you're trying to save people money, companies money, right? At the end of the day, you're trying to sell them a product that's going to get them more, bring them more value, bring them more revenue. And that's truly what leaders want to hear, is that you can help them drive more revenue at the end of the year. Guys, like I said, I throw a ton in here at once. So if you liked this video, subscribe. I post a sales tips video every other week and then a vlog every other week as an entrepreneur in sales. But seriously, follow along. I've absolutely loved putting these YouTube videos together for you. Hopefully the long form content gives you a little bit more context than just the short form that I post on TikTok, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But follow me there too, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye.